I have a very interesting topic to bring up today that could be either hindering your venue or the reason you do so well. The main topic of discussion right now is going to be having a self-scheduling link, whether that's something you send to couples or whether that's something that they can do on your website. If you have a tab that says schedule your tour now, come see the space now, whatever that is, we never do it. Right now we're working with roughly 200 wedding venues across the US, all the way from the tri-state, all the way to the Bay Area of California, everywhere in between. So one thing that we see pretty consistently is that people like to book in tours themselves, and that's actually what we recommend, and we have a few reasons for why. But we've noticed that every single venue we've worked with so far has not seen a lot of success when they've implemented the self-scheduling link. Whether that was for time, they're getting too many leads, great problem to have. But if you're not actually converting those leads, it didn't really matter in the first place. So the first reason that we really do not at all recommend having a self-scheduling link or any option for couples to schedule in a tour themselves is mainly for the fact that it shows you don't even really care. And whether that's how you feel or not, that's exactly what the couple's going to think when they're getting that message says, great, book in your tour, or it's on your website. Now, if it's on your website, granted, they haven't had some conversation with you yet, but still we'll get into more reasons why that's a bad idea. But if you're in conversation and then just send them over a link, as long as it's later on in the call, that's when we can actually somewhat justify it. But to put it out there as soon as you send out an automated message or the first email that you're manually sending out, it doesn't make much sense and it makes the couple feel as though they're not worth your time. Now, the reason that it would also be bad for the website is for the flip reason. The couple might not respect your time. And that's the reality of it. And for those venues that are using a self-scheduling link, I'm sure you've seen the performance in terms of show rate is not great. It's 1 in every 3 most times. We see a 30% show rate with all the venues we're working with right now, and that's real data that we've collected from the venues we work with in-house. It's roughly 30%. So let's say that you have 30 tours per month and they're all self-scheduling. That means 10 of them are coming in. And if you only have a 30% conversion rate, that means on the 30 tours that you scheduled, you only have 3 that are closing, and that's just not enough to actually pay the bills. Now, when that couple says, listen, we can't make it, or just hits the cancel tour button in their automated reminder, they don't owe you anything. They feel no shame in doing so. They haven't had any personal interaction with you yet, so that's why they feel so comfortable as, okay, I inquired before, but I found a few other venues in the meantime while I was waiting for this tour, so I don't need to go there anymore. They don't have any sort of emotional connection to you, and you give them no incentive to actually show up. So when you're emailing or texting back and forth with a prospect, with the couples, and you're actually asking a few questions that matter, we still definitely encourage you guys to try and book a tour early on in the conversation, as long as you have the details you need, like their guest count, their date, the type of event that they want to host. Maybe you guys do a lot of non-wedding events. So all that information is definitely key, and we encourage you to push for the tour fairly early on in the conversation, but not with that self-scheduling link. This actually gives you the opportunity to at least show you're a person responding back and forth, and just that alone will show some sort of accountability from their side to actually come in and see you at your venue. So let's say your show rate is great for these self-schedulings. Awesome. Now, the other disadvantage to doing so is they're coming in cold. So you can put everything in a long email, all your pricing, all the inclusions, all your packages, but they're coming in completely cold. They don't know how you actually run your venue, what the environment is, what the vibe is, whatever that may be that makes you guys special. There's just no way to capture it just from sending an automated email or even a little bit more of a personalized email. But if you actually have a little bit more of a conversation, get on the phone with them, and then agree upon a time for them to come in, not only do we have accountability, but they know a little bit more about you, what you do, and what they're actually going to get when they book their big day with you. So let's say all of those things are hit. They self-scheduled, they already knew some stuff about the venue, they'd been at a wedding prior at your venue. Great, now they actually have the information, but what if you don't want to take the event? Now, granted, I'm sure most of the people that you actually see, you do want to have them, of course, right? They're a great couple, you got to have some sort of conversation, you guys got to know each other a little bit on the tour, awesome. Everything works out, you host their special day. But there's always one or two, definitely with the venues that we work with, we've seen, we just didn't want to work with them, it just wasn't the right fit. Whatever the case may be for that, we don't get too personal, but I've definitely seen some people come in, and I've heard back from venue owners, the venue manager, the tour guide, whoever it is, like, yeah, it really just wasn't a great fit. I wish they knew more. I wish I knew more prior. So if you have someone that's asking for things that you know is unreasonable compatible for your venue, then unfortunately it's just not a good fit. Or if you have someone that's throwing around demands and is very snippy about it, that just might not be someone that you want to work with, and that's completely fine. But if someone is self-scheduling and you had no prior contact and you're meeting them for the first time, all you know is their first, last name, and email, then you have absolutely no information, but also have no leverage over the fact that you're not gonna find out if you want to work with them until you've already wasted your time on the tour, when that could have been a more qualified couple coming in and booking. Now let's say again that they self-scheduled. They actually did show. They knew about the venue just from referral or had been at a wedding prior. And on top of that, you want to work with them. Let's say all of those points are hit. You still don't have that much information to actually get them to book their day with you, besides the fact that they know of you. You want to go in having some sort of leverage over them as well. And not leverage that you're going to push them into something that they don't want, but just the leverage that you actually show a connection. Leveraging it in the fact that I care about you, I'm going to be here on your special day, I'm going to make sure everything's going well, and you know all the details about them. When they come in and you're taking all the stress off their hands, like, I know your guest count, I know the bride's mother's going to be taking care of things, she's the one I can correspond with during the wedding, I know that, you have this side of the family, whatever the case is, if you're actually having conversation prior, it gives you the opportunity to find out more about them. And of course, that's going to be an increase in sales. Of course, that's going to be more people that convert from a tour to a booking and actually have their wedding or whatever it is, private event with you. So that's just a given. So with all of those facts combined, that is why we absolutely do not recommend having a self-scheduling link on your website or even sending one out after conversation. And just to recap, it's because there's no accountability on their end. They feel as though I didn't speak to someone, it doesn't matter. Secondly is going to be the fact that they feel like they're not even cared for. You're just sending a link to them. You're going to lose people in the mix. They're showing the fact that you don't care. Whether that's the case or not, that might be how it's perceived, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Number three is they're showing up cold. You actually have no information that you've put in front of them besides an automated email to incentivize them to even book the space, let alone book it with you. Number four, you lose all leverage on whether you actually want to even host their event, which can be huge when I'm sure everyone's had one or two people come in that they said this just isn't a right fit, and you don't get to say that until after you've spent 45 minutes touring them. And number five is it's just generally going to bring down your closing rate because you didn't know as much as you could have about them just by having 5 to 10 minute interactions just over text or email prior to the tour. That's just one thing that we've noticed, and like I said, we've been implementing that for all the venues that we're currently working with, all the 200 throughout the US, and that's just one of the key data points that we're bringing to the table month over month, as we always work, only on 30-day contracts. If you're interested in finding out other tips that are going to help you guys actually scale and get to the booking percentage that you want to be at, book your free discovery call in the description below. Meet with our team who have seen 200 plus wedding venues across the entire US, and we'll give you a completely free audit on what you guys are doing right, what you're doing wrong. If you'd like to move forward with us, we'd love that. If not, no harm, no foul, but it doesn't hurt to find out what other venues are doing, especially in your area.